Today we're going to start talking about our coordinate plane. So it's when we plot points. And to start, we're going to start with the vocabulary of an ordered pair. An ordered pair is our x and our y with a comma and our parentheses. So this should look kind of familiar from the 5th grade. An ordered pair of numbers identifies the location of a point. So those two numbers tell us where on the coordinate plane our point is going to be. So again, let's start talking about our x values. Our x is this horizontal line right here. This is our x values, and this is also called the x-axis. Okay, and if we are talking about those x values or our x-axis, all of these numbers are what we are going to call independent. And then on the other side, we have our y values. So if this is our x, this is going to be our y, the up and down, the vertical. Okay, so this is my y, and that is called my y-axis. And if my x are independent, my y is going to be dependent, and that never changes. Those are always going to be independent and dependent. So that's something that we need to remember. Okay, and then we're going to move on. Those should be familiar with us. And actually, this coordinate plane is divided into 4 quadrants. There's 4 different pieces. And if you think about it, quad means 4, so that's an easy way to remember. But we are going to label them using Roman numerals. So that's a little bit different. The way we're going to remember it, though, is we're going to draw the letter C. And we use a C because we start at the top of our C. So if we were thinking about that, we would start in this top corner drawing our C. So that is where the first quadrant is. Quadrant 1 is this top corner. You would think it's over here, but that's why we draw the C to help us. Then we follow it around and it goes to this one. So this is quadrant 2. Keep following our C around. This is quadrant 3. And we end our C in quadrant 4, and that is IV for our Roman numeral. So again, we draw the C to help us remember where we start with our quadrants. Okay? The next vocabulary word that we need to remember is the center, where the x-axis and the y-axis meet. That's right here in the middle where those meet. That is called the origin. So we're going to go ahead and label it up here. This is a very important vocabulary word. The origin is where the x and the y-axis meet. And if we look at our numbers, we are going to say that that point, if you look at it, they're all getting smaller going towards it. So the point for that is 0, 0. That is the very middle where you start graphing. So that's just some of our vocabulary. Now we're going to actually practice graphing some of our points. So let's just do a quick reminder. Again, you learned this in 5th grade, but it says when plotting, we need to walk left or right. So we need to go on the X before we go up or down. So we're going to walk before we go up or down. I like to think about it. Think about the origin. When you walk in a building, you're going to walk left or right first. And then I think about the Y as an elevator. So you have to walk before you get in the elevator. You have to walk before you get in the elevator. So let's go ahead and practice plotting some points. I do want us to get used to labeling. This is my X and my Y. Our X always comes first. So I need to walk, and this is a positive 5. Remember, if it doesn't have a negative, it's a positive. So I'm going to think of this as a positive 5. So we always start at that origin, and I'm going to go positive 5. These are negatives over here. So I'm going to go positive 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then it's a positive 9, and my positive means I go up. So I'm going to keep from this 5, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 right here. So I walked 5, went up 9. So that is 5, 9. Okay. My next one, B, is 0, 4. So we're going to go ahead and label that. So 0, 4. I always start at my origin, and my first number was a 0. So I don't go back and forth because I go 0 steps. But then I want to go up positive 4. And my Y, I go on my Y. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to go ahead and label it 0, 4. Okay. Next one, I'm going to go -6 on my X, and then I'm going to go 8.5 on my Y. So this time I'm going to start on my origin just like always, but I have to go -6. So that means I'm going to the left because these are negatives, these are positives. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I know I'm right here, but then I have to go positive 8.5, which is 8 1/2. So I have to go up 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. But then I have that 0.5, so I'm not going all the way to 9. It's going to be right there in the middle. Okay, so I have -6 and then 8.5 right there. And then let's look at D. So this one's a little bit different. I still need to do my X and my Y, but I have a fraction and it's actually improper. So anytime we have a fraction and a coordinate, an ordered pair, I'm gonna go ahead and cowboy and horse because we need to turn this into a decimal. So remember, my cowboy is my 7, so it goes inside, and then I have my 2. I'm gonna take off my boots, put up my hat, and eat 2 donuts, put my spaces. 2 goes into 7 3 times, that gives me 6, 1. 2 goes into 10 5 times, that gives me 10, subtract and I get 0. So I'm gonna rewrite this. This is a negative, and I got 3.5, comma, 0. Okay, so let's go ahead and graph that. So again, I always start at the origin, and I have a negative, so I'm going this way, and I go, it's 3.5, so 3 1/2. So let's start by going 3, 1, 2, 3, and then I need to do my 0.5, which is right there in the middle of 3 and 4. So again, you go your full 3, and then you just do a half, and then it's 0. So I'm not going up or down any, so I just stay right there because 0 is my Y. That means I'm not going up or down. So I'm going to label that -7/2, comma 0. And I'm going to write it like they had it in the first place. Okay, let's look at the next one. It is -2, -6. So I'm going to label -2, -6. Always start in the middle. I'm going to go -2. Remember, I got to walk left or right before I go up or down. So I need to go -2, and then -6 is below, so I need to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm going to label it -2, -6, and then I have F over here, and we are going to do 8, +8, -5, X and Y. So I start at the origin, I go +8. Remember, this way is positive, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then -5 is down because it's negative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make my coordinate, and then I'm going to label that 8, -5.